This one may not go the way you intend it to.
It's time for reaction. Welcome in. Old School Nerd.
This one is I'm slightly worried about this one, but we're gonna give it a try. Why? Because, well, you guys asked for it. Wretched Rob, the infamous Wretched Rob. Immigrant song. Trent Reznor with Karen O. The original video is gone. There are a couple of options that show movie clips from the intro. Okay. All right. My name is OldSkuleNerd. How you doing? I'm a guy that loves acoustic music, classic genres of all types of music, and metal. Preferably progressive, new, experimental metal. And someone just asked me to react to Immigrant Song by Trent Reznor and Karen O. All right. Like and subscribe to the channel. Give us a thumbs up if you like this reaction. Unfortunately, all of my reactions are 100% real, 100% honest, because I make 100% mistakes on them all the time. Check us out on OldSkuleNerd.com. It's got all of our social media posts, Patreon link for those who want to help support the channel, and the merchandise store. Damn it, Rob. I think you do this stuff just to see if you can make me feel awkward. But I'm not going to let you win because I'm going to do it anyway. Here's the problem. Before I even start doing this, this is one of my favorite songs. Long before it was in the movie Thor Ragnarok, Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin was one of my favorite jams in my college years when I kind of got away from metal during the 90s. And here's the thing. I'm not into electric music, like electro music, synths, loops. It's not really my thing, but at the same time, I'm open to giving it a try. Especially when you're talking about Trent Reznor. Trent Reznor is one of those people that there's a reason why the guy is actually quoted a few times in the documentary of Rush called Beyond the Lighted Stage, because Trent Reznor is kind of a songwriting aficionado. And just like a lot of the members of Rush, he's a nerd too. He's a piano nerd. People don't realize that Trent Reznor is a virtuoso on the piano long before he did anything else. So, but to take this song, a song that I love, and go electric with it, to go synths and digital and whatever else could possibly be going on here, is going to be a little bit out of my comfort zone. I'm going to give it an honest, open-minded opinion. Okay, ready? Here we go. Okay, well, I hate it. Thanks for coming in. That was nice try, guys. I'm kidding. Dude!
The fuck,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Let's let it play. Sorry, it's Monday. Normally, I would have already cut this off, but do you feel Radio Gaga in this a little bit? Do you feel that a little bit? Do you feel that Queen Radio Gaga roll to it a little bit in there? It just kind of gives you that, like, I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. You know? Because anytime you kind of remind someone of someone like Queen or David Bowie or both, you're like, go, it's great. I don't care. Let's do it. It's pretty good. I'm not hating this at all. I didn't like that part, but that's nitpicking now. Okay, Karen O, I love the exasperation in her voice. It's a yearning, crying out in desperation kind of voice. And it kind of gives a raw passion to what you'd expect from Immigrant Song with Led Zeppelin. Robert Plant would do these primal wails that just really set the tone. Trent Reznor, of course, kind of in this time when this was done, kind of get that Matrix vibe to it, because that was kind of the thing. Rob Zombie was huge around this time. Trent Reznor and Rob Zombie were kind of like the key marks. Some people disagree with me like this, but when you think about David Bowie back in the 80s, and how he kept pushing the envelope of what it was acceptable, and then Rob Zombie comes in, Marilyn Manson comes in, and Trent Reznor comes in for their section of music history. They also pushed the limits of what was acceptable. And even though you had things like that were Rob Zombie, Marilyn Manson trying to shock you visually, because the visualization shocked you so much, every time that industrial sound that sounded like heavy metal, but it sounded like it was dance music, you immediately were like, what's coming? Because they had you so on the edge of your seat because of what they would do. You know who else was doing this at the time was Eminem. Nobody expected. See, Eminem was doing the same thing with rap. He was so different, not just because he was a white guy, but the way he would go at the system. He would go at the music industry, at popular culture, and flip it on its head. He was so provocative, so controversial, that every time you heard his voice, it made you like, oh, what's coming? Right now, we have rappers like Tom McDonald that are doing it too, because he'll go out there and say stuff that nobody else will say. Anytime you even hear his name, you're like, oh. He didn't even have to do anything. All he has to do is say, hey, I'm going to come up with a new song. Here we go. And he could literally drop Wheels on the Bus. Not the Melanie Martinez remix, which is awesome. Just the original. And people would freak out, because when you set that standard to bring, you shake up the system, you shake up that snowball. That's what Trent Reznor did during this time. So you have Rob Zombie, Trent Reznor, and Marilyn Manson of this era of music. Every time they would do something, people would just, because they'd hear that type of music coming from them, you'd be like, what are they doing now? David Bowie was that guy back in the day. Okay. And then you have people like Tom McDonald that are doing it now, where because they have a tendency, they'll go out there and they'll slap the system, and all of a sudden you're like, oh. And so anything you hear from them, it's almost automatic. So when you hear this electro feel to it, this heavy, aggressive metal, yet it's all industrial and digital, you automatically get pulled into, is this the Matrix? Is it the freaking Matrix? You know, is Rob Zombie going to come out? Is Marilyn Manson going to come out possibly as another gender or species from another world? We don't know, because that was the crazy world we lived in this time and age of music, which was kind of crazy and cool. I do like this. I think it's kind of cool. It's different. It's different. It's not my normal go-to. It's not something I normally play, or something I normally chill out to, because it is outside of my comfort zone musically. This isn't the kind of music I could just pick up the djembe or the cajon or the doumbek and just play it out. Could, but it doesn't match up because it's so industrial and digital. Again, you guys could probably just rip me up in the comments. You have no idea what you're talking about, dude. You're making this crap up. Possibly, but this is how I'm feeling about it. This is what I'm seeing when I see this stuff. And it's really cool. So this was for the yeah, this was for the movie Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I haven't seen the movie. Sorry, I haven't. Okay, you notice on the resonance on the end of that, every measure of that, the mix got higher and higher in the dB level of the gain. You could hear it building and building and building. Is it a worthy cover of the original? Yeah. If somebody that wasn't Trent Reznor didn't take the time to do so many layerings in the composition to really give it a lot of beef, you'd be just like, it's a little club remix somebody's doing. But they did it well. It's done really well. So props to you, man. Look, Wretched Rob coming in clutch, man. Hey, buddy. Really?
Muchas fucking gracias.
Right? Mondays.